All right, let's get started. So my name is Kay Singh. I'm a PM on the Azure Compute team. So I'm going to be talking about shared image gallery today. So when I talk to customers who are working with custom images, some of the top questions I get are customers wanting to do an easier organization, and basically a way for them to easily organize their custom images. What I also get asked is a lot of customers who want to move their VM to the image to another region. And a lot of customers want to deploy a VM in a different subscription, as well as customers who want to create a lot of instances from that custom image. Now, with a quick show of hands, how many here have been in one of these situations? Oh, wow, that's a lot of you. OK, so you guys are going to get your wishes granted today. So this is good. So let's take a look at what we have in the image landscape today. So what we have is here on the left, we have platform or marketplace images. So these are your usually like Windows Server or Ubuntu or any other marketplace third-party images that you can deploy from Portal. Then what we have is a custom managed image. So a custom image, but it's a managed. Now what we're introducing today is the shared image gallery. And the way to think about the relationship between shared image gallery and custom managed image is that shared image gallery builds on top of custom managed image. It does everything the managed image does, plus a lot more. And we're going to talk about that. So the value proposition for shared image gallery, think of this as a gallery for your organization. So it allows you to organize your custom images using a specific hierarchy with the various resources we're introducing. It also allows you to share your images to different users, as well as AD groups, as well as across regions. And lastly, it allows you to specify the scale. So if you, in the past, you would try to create a lot of instances from a custom image, you know it did not go well. With shared image gallery, you can actually specify the scale. Let's talk about management first. So with shared image gallery, we're going to be introducing new ARM resources. The first one, as the name suggests, is going to be the shared image gallery, which is a container for multiple image definitions. And image definitions are itself a container, basically a collection of multiple versions. So think of Ubuntu 18.04, and it could have multiple versions, which could be monthly patches, or you could have a lab with the multiple versions as the course is updated. So those are just some examples of image definitions. Now, since these are collection of versions, they should have the same OS type, and this is the place where you specify that. Now, you can, as a publisher of the custom images, you can also specify some of the other stuff, like a EULAs or privacy URIs, or an end-of-life date. So it sets an expectation for your consumers of these images of when to stop consuming the image. You can also recommend CPUs and memory and the various disk types. And lastly, the most important artifact, this is the image version. So image version is the one that you use to actually deploy a VM or a VM scale set. And this is where the one that you actually replicate to different regions, as well as you can specify the number of replicas to keep for this. Now, let's talk about resource hierarchy between these new resources. So first, you have shared image gallery. Then you can create multiple image definitions inside of it. And then each image definition can have multiple image versions inside it. Now, talking about the life cycle, so if you have unmanaged images today, which are basically just a collection of one OS disk plus multiple data disks, what you need to do is to create a managed image from it. Once you have a managed image, then you can create an image version from it. And then once you have an image version, then you can deploy a VM scale set or a VM from it. So let's talk a little bit about how we share these shared images. So because these are full ARM resources, and ARM has RBAC integrated into it natively, you can share this shared image gallery with a user through RBAC. So there's nothing new to learn there. Now, once the image is shared with the user can deploy a VM skill set or a VM in any subscription they have access to. So think within your organization, you have multiple subscriptions, and there are users who have access to multiple subscriptions. If you share the image with the user can deploy the VM in a different subscription. Now let's take a look at the demo now. Okay, so we have CLI available. So you'll need to download the latest CLI from the Azure downloads page. So what you need to do is first you create the gallery. So it is pretty simple. You just specify the resource group, and then you specify the gallery name. And the next thing you need to do is create the image definition. So notice image definition has a lot of parameters. So some of the parameters that are going to be required are the gallery name, of course, the gallery image definition. Now in this example, I'm creating a gallery image definition for this session. So think of this, if I might want to use multiple versions for this session, it makes sense to create an image definition for this session, right? And then I can define my own publisher, which is me. I can define my own offer, Ubuntu 18. I can define my own SKU. Now those are some of the common parameters. And then I would specify the OS type as well. Description. Now here's where it gets interesting. As a publisher of these images, you can recommend to your users of stuff that they should not use. For example, if I know this image does not need to be run on a premium SSD disk, my user should not have to do that and pay extra money for premium. So when they do a get on this image definition, they will see all this information. So it's really beneficial to make your users aware of how to deploy your image. And if you're building some sort of automation job or anything like that in your subscription, you can basically see, hey, this user created the VM from this image definition, and you could do compliance and make sure everybody's following policies and stuff like that. So for example, the disk type is one example. I can set an end-of-life date. So if I'm, in this example, I'm creating versions for this session, and I'm not going to need them after Ignite, right? So I can set an expected end-of-life date. It's like if everybody creates a VM from it after it, I can say it's not supported. The date is right there in the image. Now I can also set up EULA links and privacy links and release notes, so users can get access to these and look at these things ongoing. The other interesting thing I can do is I can set the VM type behavior. I can recommend my users don't deploy this on less than 2 cores and don't deploy this on more than 8 cores. Same with memory. I can tell them don't deploy this on less than 4 or more than 8 gigs of RAM. My image and the software that's running on the image does not need more than that, so don't pay for a VM type that's going to be more than that. So it's great as a publisher being able to specify all this for your consumers and make them aware of all this. Now what you can also do is, next thing is to create an image version. So in the image version, I define the group, the gallery name, the image definition. Now I specify the version number. The version number follows semantic versioning. So this is as your users would expect, 1.0.0 or so on. Now what I can do is I can specify target regions. So in this case, I'm saying West Central US, create this version. And I'm saying create a replica count of 1. And my source is a managed image. So I'm using just a resource ID of a managed image. So let's see some of this in the get. So here's my image definition. I did a list show on that. And here is all the information I know about the image definition that you as a publisher set. So this is the view your consumer of your image would get when you've shared your image with them. So they'll be able to view all this information that you set on the custom, the shared image definition. And if your user did a show on the image version, then they would see all the information for that image version, especially the source, the replica count, the regions that image is replicated in, and how many OS disks or how many data disks it has. So moving on, let's switch back to the presentation. Okay. So what we have right now is you could have an image in West US. You could have another region in one of the European regions. And then you could have a third image in Australia. Now, sometimes what you want to do is you want to copy that image from one region to another region. Now, people have figured out some ways to do this, but it is pretty painful. Has any of you wanted to ever copy an image to a different region? Quick show of hands. OK, it's quite a lot of you. So it's pretty possible now, and it's going to be pretty simple. What you can do is take that managed image and create a shared image version out of it. And then you can replicate that shared image to different regions. Now, what you can also do is you can have multiple versions. So in this scenario, I have 3 versions, and you can replicate those versions independently of each other to different regions. So in this scenario, what you have is you have the older versions that are replicated to one region, and the latest version that's replicated to multiple regions. And now, why you might want to do this? One example is to save money. So you might always want to have the latest version replicated to different regions, while all the older versions are only live in one region. So let's see how easy it is to do this. So I showed you this command before to create an image version. I showed you the target regions was West Central US, and I showed you the replica count. Now, all you need to do to basically replicate this source managed image to multiple regions is specify additional regions in that same command. So what I've done is I've replaced that command with additional regions, South Central US and East US, 2. And basically what's going to happen is Azure is going to replicate that image to all those additional regions. And what that means for your consumers is that they're going to be able to deploy VM and VM scale sets in those additional regions. So it is really easy to replicate these images now. So switching back. So let's talk about scale. So the third value prop for shared image gallery. So I showed you that parameter called replica count. So what that does is it allows you to specify the number of replicas to keep for the image. And the scenario where you might want to use that is if you're spinning up a lot of VMs. For example, like if you're creating thousands of VMs or thousands of instance scale sets, that's where that is going to help. Now, what's going to happen is when a concurrent VM deployment comes in, the calls will get batched up, and they will get spread to all the replicas. So in this example, what I have is I have an image version with replica count 5. And I'm creating 50 VMs at the same time. What's happening is they're getting split up into batches of 10. And the reads, so these 10 VMs are reading from this replica, whereas these 10 VMs are reading from this replica. So this helps in avoiding storage throttling. So since these are backed by disks and standard disks, there's only so much throughput you can get when you start reading the data from it. And when a lot of VMs read the data from a single blob, we see that leads to throttling, which leads to slower VM boot time. So with this, you can avoid those situations. Now, the way to deploy a VM or a VMSS from an image version is pretty simple. All you need to do is specify the resource ID of the image version, and everything else remains the same. So if you're using a managed image and you're deploying VMs from your managed images today, nothing changes for you. All you need to do is specify a different resource ID. And we also have a concept of a latest version. So you don't even need to know what the latest version in that image definition is. You can just pass in the resource ID of the image definition, and we'll figure out the latest version in it. So this example is of the latest version, whereas this example and the text in white is you're deploying a specific version. So just to quickly review, so what we've seen today is how to create a shared image gallery, how to create a VM from a shared image gallery, how do you share a gallery to different users, how do you replicate your image to different regions, and how do you increase the number of replicas on your images. So to get started, our announcement blog goes live tomorrow. So that is going to have the entire getting started guide as well as all the pretty pictures I showed you. And since this is a preview feature, we're announcing public preview. You can get started and register for that feature today. You have to download the latest CLI build, 2.0.46. And if you go to the Quick Start Templates repository, you can do a search Control F for SIG, and it will bring up the templates that we have published. If you have more questions, reach out to me on Twitter or find me in the Ignite attendee list. I will be at the VM booth right there tomorrow, 2 to 4, as well as I'm doing another session on breakout session on VMSS plus shared image gallery integration on Wednesday at 4:30. And then I'll also hang out around here for any additional questions. And please fill out the evaluation and let me know what I did well as bad so I can improve for next time. Thank you.